What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone's having a great day. Today I am super excited because we are going to be revealing the new car on the channel. Yes, I have traded in my 2024 Mustang GT for something different. And if you watched my previous video, at the end of that video I discussed what vehicles I was between, and we chose one of those two vehicles. The two that we were between was a Golf R and a GTI. And I know as soon as I said that in the last video there's tons of comments on the video that's really split in half. There was a lot of people that were upset that I'm going from a Mustang to maybe a Volkswagen, and then there was other comments on there that were very supportive. And all I gotta say, guys, is that this decision was not made lightly. I'm really doing this for myself, not for YouTube. Even though I value everyone's opinions, I am doing this for myself, and I'm super excited about it. So without further ado, let's get into what the new car on the channel is gonna be. Here it is. There she is, guys. Yes, we went with a 2024 Volkswagen GTI in the SE trim in this beautiful moonstone gray color. And guys, I am super excited for this project. Now, I know what a lot of people are thinking. Wow, you went from a Mustang GT to a GTI. Why on earth did you do that? Well, I went more into depth on what I was looking for in a daily driver. And honestly, the GTI just checked more boxes than the Mustang GT does as far as a daily driver. Now, before we get into all the cool stuff on this thing, I do want to say my 24 GT was a fantastic car. Like, I'm still wearing an RTR shirt right now. I still support the Mustangs. I love Mustangs. If I could have the Mustang as a secondary car for like weekend use and have a great daily driver that's fun, lightweight, sporty, and I could afford both cars, I totally would do it, guys. But I want one car that's like the Swiss Army knife for everything. I want it to be practical, I want it to be fun, lightweight, sporty, everything in one. And honestly, I couldn't have thought of a better option than the Volkswagen GTI. Now, why did we end up going with GTI over the Golf R? If you watched the last video, you know that I drove all the way to Tennessee, which was about 4.5 hours, to go see a used 2022 Golf R with about 20,000 miles on it. And it was very similar price to what this car would be brand new. So we ended up going to see that car. And unfortunately, it had a lot more damage on it than what the dealership kind of portrayed in their videos and photos. So it was kind of a letdown. We ended up coming back home. That car was definitely not for me. So I was between, obviously, the R and the GTI, and there was a couple of reasons why we ended up going this way. One is that personally, I just did not want to pay $50,000 for a Golf. I bought my Mustang GT. It's a base Mustang GT that was less than $50,000, and I could not quite justify paying $50,000 for the R. And the Rs that were in my area, the dealerships were still charging a markup on them. So they are really kind of rare cars, so I guess I understand, but I don't really agree with the whole markup thing, and I personally could not justify it. I did end up driving 2 Golf Rs over the last few months, and I ended up driving a few GTIs. And honestly, the Golf R, traction all the way, the traction's amazing, the extra power was amazing, and it obviously came with every option, adaptive suspension, every option that you can get in a GTI, just more. But it did feel a little bit heavier than the GTI, and when I was pushing the car in the corners and things like that, I think the GTI is going to be the more playful, more quote-unquote fun daily driver, but not as serious as the Golf R. And the Golf R, when I drove that car, the power was great. The traction was very good, as you would expect from an all-wheel drive vehicle. It has a really cool differential in the back, which essentially allows you to drift the car around turns. It's a drift mode that sends 50% of the power to the back, and then 100% of that 50% to one of the rear tires to essentially overdrive it, which is pretty cool technology. I don't know how often I'd actually utilize that. But what I found in the driving dynamics between the two is that the GTI felt lighter. It felt a little bit more playful in the turns than the R did, but the R felt more serious. It felt more like you weren't pushing it very hard around turns. It just handled everything incredibly well. So the ultimate performer would definitely go to the Golf R. Faster off the line for sure, faster probably in every metric, until this thing is tuned and we start pushing some big boosts through it. Then it's going to be a whole nother ball game. But I found that the GTI in its stock form felt a little bit more fun, and I think for what I'm looking for, a fun daily driver that I can mod over time, I think it fit the bill for me. And the last thing, guys, is when I was looking here, this color was one of the colors that I really wanted in a GTI if I went that route. If I went to the Golf R, I wanted to do that blue color. I think it's called like lapis blue, something like that. Someone correct me in the comments, I'm sure. Sure they will. But this color here is called Moonstone Gray. And it's this flat gray color. A lot of cars are doing this nowadays, but I think it looks fantastic. I've looked up a lot of these online here, and I think I want to do kind of a black and gray color scheme here. Obviously lower the car, front splitter, rear wing, or, you know, spoiler, I guess, not really a wing. And then tuning, of course, exhaust, intake, downpipe, whole 9 yards on this car, guys. I want this to be like the sleeper GTI that no one sees coming, and that's incredibly fun to drive. And that's what I'm after. That's what I'm gonna do with this thing. And I'm excited. I'm excited to mod this thing, man. It takes me back to when I had my Mark 6, which is a 2010 GTI. The big turbo on that. It was such a fun car, and I know that this one is going to be the exact same way as soon as we start modding it. Now, my next video on the channel is going to be going obviously more in depth with this car, the options that are on it, and again recapping like why I chose this route, take you guys for a ride so you guys can kind of experience it as we kind of break this thing in, because right now I only got about 50 miles on it, but I do want to address what you can expect going forward on this channel, as a lot of you, I'm sure all the Mustang folks on there on the channel are, you know, anxiously awaiting what the heck can I expect as a Mustang follower. Well, guys, I will say this. Although the Mustang is not on the channel, it's not the main build on the channel any longer. Obviously, we're into this GTI now, which again, I'm super excited about, but I do have a lot of friends now in the Mustang community with a lot of different builds going on, so I do want to get them on the channel as well, and I will still be showcasing Mustang content on this channel from time to time. It's just not going to be as Mustang focused, obviously, now that we're in a different platform. So if you guys are interested in cars in general, modding cars, having fun, you know, maybe learning a different platform, things like that, stick around. I still will be making a ton of content. It's just going to be more golf related, VW related, and not as Mustang related. But don't worry, Mustang guys and girls, there's still going to be Mustang content on this channel. The other thing I want to say is, even though the Mustang GT wasn't the best fit for me in terms of what I want in a daily driver and what I want for my only car, I am really thankful for the experiences that car brought me over this last year. I mean, we have got to do so many cool things with that car on the channel. We've got to modify it into my kind of taste there, that I absolutely loved the looks of it. It's such a beautiful car. But more importantly, all the experiences I was personally able to experience because of that car. So, I mean, we got to meet Vaughn Gittin Jr. I got to get a ride along from him in an S650 Mustang at Mustang Unleashed, which was an experience Ford put on, and that was absolutely incredible. We got him to sign the car. I got to meet T-Pain, Chelsea DeNofa, Larry Chen, James Dean, a bunch of people signed the radiator cover on my Mustang, and I thought that was the coolest thing. I will say I did keep that radiator cover. I ordered a used one online on eBay, swapped it out, so I still have that piece the memories will stay with me for that one. But we got to meet so many cool people. We got to go to, you know, so many different car shows. I remember when we went to Caffeine and Octane, as soon as I got the car, like it was like 2 weeks, maybe, yeah, I think it was like 2 weeks after we got it. And I took the car to Caffeine and Octane, already had it lowered, had my RTR wheels on it that I had from my EcoBoost Mustang, and it was the only modified S650 at Caffeine and Octane. And to me, that was super cool to be one of the first to modify the S650 in this area anyway. So there was just a ton of great experiences with that car. Even though I don't have it now, and I'm very excited about this one. I think this is just checking all the boxes for me, even in the first week of having it. I really am thankful for the experiences I was able to get with the Mustang GT. We are going to be doing some big things with this little car here, guys, and I'm excited to have you along for the ride. So thank you guys for sticking around. I can't wait to bring you the next video on what we decide to do with this thing, kind of the plan here, and then obviously give you more of an in-depth review of the car and kind of my first impressions of driving this thing, which I will give you a little hint already. It's freaking good. So you guys have a great day. We will see you in the next video. And I guess with that being said, welcome the new GTI to the channel here, guys. Have a good one. We'll see you later. Bye.